Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Welcome back to AI Hub, everybody. I'm Larry, and with me, as always, we have our resident AI expert, Amanda.
Hey, everyone.
And today we are going to be taking a deep dive into something that proves even AI that's supposed to help us code can sometimes, cause some problems.
Yeah.
We're talking about Anthropic's Claude Code and how it actually caused some computer systems to brick.
Yeah, definitely a case of good intentions gone wrong. Bricking essentially means a system is rendered unusable.
Oh, wow.
Because of software errors, as useful as a brick, basically.
So like a doorstop.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Not the outcome you'd want from a tool that's supposed to make your life easier, right?
Right. So like if you asked for a robot chef and it ended up burning down your kitchen.
Pretty much, yeah. A recipe for a disaster.
So what exactly happened with Claude Code?
Well, there was this bug in its auto-update function.
Okay.
Specifically, some faulty commands that mess with something called file permissions, which are really important for system security.
File permissions. Could you break that down a little bit more for us?
Sure. So think of them like the bouncers at a club.
Okay.
They control who gets access to what right.
Okay.
So files on your computer have different levels of access. You have read, write, execute, and these permissions determine which users and programs can do what with each file. When Claude Code messed these up, it was like giving everyone VIP access and the keys to the bar. Chaos.
Yeah, that sounds like chaos. And it wasn't just hypothetical chaos either, right?
No.
One user on GitHub had to use a rescue instance to fix their system.
Right.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it's not an easy fix. A rescue instance is basically a separate bootable environment that you can use to try to repair a damaged system.
Okay.
It's kind of like calling a specialist cleanup crew.
Gotcha.
What made this even worse is that a lot of users had installed Claude Code with what's called root or super user access, which basically gives it free reign to make these system changes.
So it had the power to really wreak havoc.
Yeah.
But why would anybody give a coding tool that much power?
It's kind of like giving a trainee chef control of all the kitchen equipment.
Oh, no.
You're hoping for the best, but the potential for disaster is really high.
Yeah.
Root access, or super user access, is usually something that's restricted to system administrators or very specific tasks that really need those elevated privileges.
Okay.
It's like having the master key to your entire computer.
And in this case, giving Claude Code that master key turned out to be a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, a bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, big oopsie.
Yeah, it really underscores how careful you have to be with these really powerful tools, especially in AI.
Right.
Even a small coding error, when it's paired with something like root access, can have huge consequences.
It's a good reminder that with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
But accidents happen.
Yeah.
So what did Anthropic do to address this whole Claude Code chaos?
Well, they acted pretty quickly. To their credit, they removed those problematic commands.
Okay.
And they even put out a troubleshooting guide for users that had already been affected by this.
That's good. I'm sure some people were freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some initial hiccups, though.
Oh, really?
The link to the troubleshooting guide, it actually had a typo in it at first.
No way.
Yeah, but they fixed it pretty quickly, and they've been emphasizing user caution, which is good.
That's good. Yeah, so they're working on fixing the immediate problem.
Yeah.
But this whole thing kind of raises a bigger question. What does this incident with Claude Code, what does it tell us about the future of AI development, especially for tools like this?
I think it's kind of a wake-up call,
Okay.
Even with the best intentions, things can go wrong, especially when we're dealing with these really complex systems we don't fully understand yet.
Right.
The potential of AI is huge, but we really have to be careful.
Yeah.
We need to prioritize safety and security alongside all of this innovation.
It seems like kind of a tough balancing act. On one hand, you want to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you got to make sure you're not creating tools that could backfire like this.
Exactly, and that's where this whole concept of responsible AI development comes in. It's about asking those tough questions early on. What could go wrong? How can we minimize those risks? What are the ethical implications of this,
So thinking beyond just the cool factor,
Exactly.
really considering, what could happen, the potential consequences.
Yeah, both positive and negative.
But how do we actually do that? How do we put this responsible AI development into practice? Like, what actual steps can developers take to prevent these kind of things from happening again?
Well, I think rigorous testing is key. Like, really put these tools through their paces,
Right.
Test individual components, how they work together, how they actually perform in those real world scenarios.
Okay.
It's about trying to think like a user who might do something you didn't expect.
Right. Those edge cases.
Yeah, exactly. Those edge cases that can really cause problems.
So developers need to think outside the box and really anticipate how people might interact with this AI in ways that they didn't intend.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. Continuous monitoring is also super important.
Oh, okay.
AI systems, they learn and evolve over time.
Right.
So even if they pass all of those initial tests, they might start behaving in unexpected ways down the line.
So it's not just to set it and forget it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Developers need to be vigilant. They need to keep an eye on how their tools are being used out in the real world,
So it's about ongoing responsibility. What about transparency? Does that play a role here?
Oh, for sure. Developers need to be really open about the limitations of their AI.
Okay.
They need to provide clear instructions on how to use it safely, and they need to be responsive to feedback that they get from users.
Right.
The more information people have, the better equipped they'll be to make good choices about using these tools.
It's easy to think that if something's widely available, it must be safe. But as we saw with Claude Code, that's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly. And even something that seems as simple as downloading and installing a piece of software can have those unintended consequences if you're not careful.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that AI tools are still tools.
Right.
And just like any tool, they can be misused, they can malfunction, you know?
So approach them with a little bit of skepticism, a little bit of caution. Don't just blindly trust them. Do your research.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Make sure you understand those potential risks.
Absolutely. And if you do run into an issue, don't be afraid to report it to the developer.
Right.
That feedback is going to help them, identify and fix bugs,
Right.
improve those security measures, and ultimately make the tools safer for everyone.
Yeah.
We all have a part to play in this, ensuring AI is developed and used responsibly.
It seems like this whole situation with Claude Code is kind of a reminder that AI development isn't just about pushing those technological boundaries.
Yeah,
It's also about building trust.
absolutely.
Trust between the people who make it and the people who use it, and trust in the technology itself.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We need to trust that these tools are safe, that they're reliable, and that they're actually aligned with our values as a society. And that trust, that's something that's earned, through transparency, accountability, and a commitment to constantly improving things.
Okay, so we talked about the risks.
Okay.
We talked about some solutions. We talked about responsibility. But what does this all mean for the future of AI development? Like, where do we go from here?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
I think this incident really highlights the need for a collaborative approach. Developers, users, policymakers, researchers, we all need to be working together to create some kind of framework for responsible AI development,
A framework that makes sure that the AI is serving humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly. We need to think about the ethical implications of this, the impact it's going to have on society, and how we can make sure that its benefits are shared widely and fairly.
Right.
This isn't just a technical challenge, it's a societal one.
And it's one that we all need to be engaged with. So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into this Claude Code incident, I think it's worth asking ourselves, what role do we each want to play in shaping the future of AI?
Yeah, it really seems like this whole thing with Claude Code, as unfortunate as it was, could end up being a really important moment for how we think about AI development,
Right? It's a chance to learn and adapt before things, get even more complicated.
before the stakes get even higher. So you're saying we need to kind of shift our mindset. Instead of just thinking about what AI can do, we need to think about what it should do and how we make sure it's used for good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where the conversation gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because good can mean so many different things to different people, right?
Right.
It's about having these open and honest discussions about our values, our priorities, and what kind of future we actually want to build with AI.
A vision for AI that goes beyond just efficiency or automation to something that actually benefits humanity. Exactly. And I think that's a vision worth striving for. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of collaboration, critical thinking, and a willingness to, really challenge our own assumptions. But I think the potential rewards are huge.
Well said. This deep dive into the Claude Code incident has been a journey from the technical nitty-gritty to the bigger picture stuff about the future of AI.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even small mistakes can have big consequences, and we need to be really careful thoughtful and proactive as we explore this amazing but kind of complicated world of technology.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating discussion.
It has, and I think it's just the start of a much bigger conversation about the role of AI in our lives and the future we want to create together.
Yeah, I think so too.
So to everyone listening, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep having this conversation. The future of AI is really in our hands, and it's up to all of us to shape it responsibly. And if you want to stay in the loop, make sure you subscribe to AI Hub for more deep dives into the world of AI. Until next time, stay curious.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.